When ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi declared the establishment of a caliphate in Syria and Iraq, it may have been the first time many Americans heard the word used. But the concept of a caliphate or Islamic State is central to the ideology of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood, and every radical Islamic group. And it has a long history. Picture every Islamic nation united economically, militarily, politically. This superstate or caliphate would target first Israel and then the West, with the goal being worldwide Islamic rule. Sharia law for one and all, whether you like it or not. That means no human rights, no women's rights, no religious freedom. Democracy does not exist, and any dissent is brutally suppressed. That is the vision of ISIS. It's a stark vision that has now come to life across large portions of Iraq and Syria in the areas under ISIS control. ISIS has branded this a caliphate, and its leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, has declared himself caliph, or ruler of all Muslims. The goal of ISIS is to enlarge this caliphate until it dominates the entire Middle East and beyond.
The objective in creating a caliphate is to create a superstate that has the capability to take on the U.S., Israel, and the surrounding countries.
Its goal is to dominate Iraq, Syria, and then start expanding the caliphate across what the old Ummah used to be. You know, the banner of Islam had, you know, a good chunk of Europe, all of North Africa, and the whole Arabian Peninsula.
There have been 5 caliphates throughout the history of Islam. At its height, the caliphate stretched from India to Spain. The Turkish-led Ottoman Caliphate conquered Greece, the Balkans, and Hungary, reaching the gates of Vienna before being turned back. For now, ISIS's mini-caliphate in Iraq and Syria can't compare with the caliphates of old. But ISIS has big plans.
Their goal is to capture that whole region. So take down Jordan, who they don't believe the king is legitimate there. Take down Saudi Arabia. They don't think the Saudis are legitimate rulers. To take Iran, to obviously Iraq's in the middle. Their government has to go too, even up into Turkey. And I can't believe if they managed to capture all that, they wouldn't go after Israel just because Israel's there and they really hate them. So that whole region could turn into a massive, grand-scale war of something we have not seen in a long, long time, and it would be a particularly bloody one.
Dr. Stephen Bucci is a former top Pentagon official and Special Forces officer who now works at the Heritage Foundation in Washington.
If you happen to be one of the civilians that was in that area when ISIS came in, and you did not accept their particular brand of Islam, which is very narrow and very extreme, they will kill you.
The ancient Christian community of Iraq has found that out the hard way. Hundreds of thousands of Christians fled from their homes after ISIS began enforcing Sharia law in cities like Mosul, killing anyone who wouldn't submit.
Christians have options. The options are, or you pay a tax, and it can be a very significant amount of money. You become a dhimmi, and you're a second-class citizen, and you're allowed to live, but under ISIS control. Or you don't pay and you're executed, or you convert. So those are the 3 choices. Unfortunately, the fees are so high that most people can't afford, so they flee. In many cases where they can't flee, they're executed.
But it's not just Christians. ISIS has massacred Iraq's Yazidi minority sect and has declared war against all Shiite Muslims as well. If you don't subscribe to ISIS's extreme Sunni ideology, you won't last very long in the caliphate. While ISIS's claim to lead the Muslim world has been rejected by most, it remains to be seen whether other jihadists will jump on the bandwagon.
The idea that a caliphate has been established is not really supported even by fellow jihadists, but what they do support is ISIS's creation of a terrorist safe haven in Iraq and Syria.
It's been 13 years since 9/11, yet radical Islam continues to grow. So is ISIS the greatest threat facing America today? And what about Al-Qaeda, Iran, Hezbollah? Who should Americans be most concerned about? That's coming up after the break.